snacks.
That thing. Boom!
We live.
Sit down.
What it do, snackers and snackers? It's your boy Gage. Jokes, you in the building?
I'm in the building.
Sin, you in the building?
Sir, I'm here.
You on a pirate boat?
Always.
What's the name of your pirate ship?
Oh man, it's the Thousand Sunny.
The Thousand Sunny.
Straw Hat for life.
If you had your own pirate ship, what would you name it?
That is a good question.
It is. I like it.
You know what? To say the honest to God truth, I've never thought of that, and now I am going to be thinking about that until I get an answer.
All right, you think about that while Joe still tries to figure out what his favorite animal is, because nobody ever asked him that. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Cutscenes, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in video games. And today, y'all, so much to cover. Before we cover it, y'all tell them what cutscenes are?
The best part of the game.
It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. What's up, Terrius? I see you, cuzzo.
Hey.
Check this out. So we had the Xbox showcase today. And there was a lot of other news related to that.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to touch on some PlayStation stuff. I figure we'll do that first because the Xbox stuff is real heavy.
Okay.
I feel like we didn't get a chance to talk about Ghost of Tsushima, so we're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to touch on Jeff Keighley touching the controller.
Okay. Okay.
Then we're going to get into some Xbox, and we're just going to kind of run down the show and give our thoughts and blase blah yakety schmackety. So, first and foremost, Sin, you've been playing Ghost.
I have been.
You enjoying it? How you feel about it?
I'm really enjoying it right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you looked at reviews or anything like that? Are you hearing any of the rhetoric?
No, I didn't want to look at anything. I wanted all of my thoughts and everything just be my own, like not kind of jaded by reading somebody else saying. Since I already paid for it before the reviews came out, like, well, I already own it. I got it. I'll just dive into it. Yeah, and just go with it. Yeah. So no, I haven't read or anything like that. What anybody's saying about it.
Here's the deal. We're gonna get. I know you haven't finished the game yet.
Nope.
So we're not really. We're not doing a review, but we will get into some. We'll do a full impression though of it. So y'all keep your eye open for that. That's gonna be coming. I too have been playing. We'll save it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
What I do want to say is that last week Jeff Keighley got the opportunity to do a little showing off of the PlayStation controller, the PlayStation 5 controller, the DualSense. Did you guys see this presentation?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw it.
Jokes? What'd you think?
Why? Like, I get it. You got the controller and you tried it, but I mean, cool. But it doesn't really do any justice for us. I mean, all you can do is to say,
was it cool?
As in cool, and he got his hands on the controller before the rest of the world. I guess that'd be the cool part. But you can only say
cool
that for him. But for us, it's just like, oh yeah, the controller feels nice in my hand. I thought it was gonna be where it's like, that's your opinion until I can physically have it in my hand too. Like, I really can't say, but kudos.
I would say that there are a couple of things that I think were sort of important about it, like being able to see it side by side next to the PlayStation 4 controller, just to see that it is a larger controller. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit bigger. I think stuff like that is kind of important, just to kind of give people an idea. I get the haptic feedback stuff. It doesn't seem super new to me. Like, it seems like the kind of thing. I said the same thing when they talked about it before. Like, it's the kind of thing that was done. Nintendo did it with the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Feeling like ice is in the controller, kind of thing. Darius is asking, how do we feel about Last of Us 2? Haven't played it.
Jokes is
Not
the
even
only one that
honestly that
played it.
interested in
I've
it.
touched it, and I mean, for when I played, it's okay, but it's just not keeping me drawn in the way that I thought it was going to. So I haven't really been back to it. I am going to revisit it just to get a little bit further into the game and see if I still feel the same way. But a lot of cinematics. So if you're that'd be my biggest thing. Like you're gonna get in here, you're gonna get some gameplay, but there's a lot of cinematics that you're gonna get. Looks good.
Cutscenes.
A lot of
Cutscenes.
cutscenes.
That's what we call it on this show. Cutscenes.
Cutscenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cinematics.
Not cinematics.
Yeah,
Cutscenes.
the best
Sir.
part of the game. You gotta get it right.
What I'll say is, Last of Us feels like a winter game to me, like a early part of the year, January, February kind of a game to me. Like it doesn't feel like a middle of the summer. I've been trapped in the house all day, all week, all month for 3 months kind of game. Like it doesn't. It just like there's something about it that's not speaking to me in terms of that, kind of thing. And for real, for me, because I'm not really trapped, because I'm like out kind of in it every day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I come home and I want to play games, I want to do. I don't know. I want something with a little more action or something like I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I'm not necessarily looking for a game that's quite that relaxing. I am looking for something that lets me unwind, but not something that's like gonna make me feel a certain level of stress too with it. And I tend to have a little bit of anxiety when it comes to playing that kind of stuff or even watching that kind of stuff, like the whole like what's gonna happen next or stuff like that stuff kind of just it's just like for me mindset wise it's not where I want to be. I feel like I'd be more interested in it at a different time of the year. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there is a lot of controversy tied up in it, Terrius, which I think a lot of it is unnecessary. I'm not one of those people who I don't really care so much about the spoilers like I do, but I don't. So I'm aware of what the controversy is and what people are saying about it. I'm not going to really talk about it here because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled, but I think most of it is just kind of trolling and people being upset because of it more than anything. So yeah, look, I think that Jeff Keighley presentation was unnecessary, but I get it.
It's
no
me,
E3.
It's like VR. Like it's hard to experience it unless you experience it for yourself. You know what I mean?
Facts.
All that stuff, the controller, you just can't do that through a video presentation. So
exactly. I mean, look, if it had been a normal year with the E3, all we would have been doing was watching videos of people's impressions of the controller anyway, what they said it felt like. What I think is that we would normally be dealing with people who are journalists who would do a very good job of articulating how it really felt, giving you very good, like point to point. This was happening in the game, and this is what was happening on the controller, and would articulate it very well. And actually, I feel like would probably do a better job of adding that excitement. Even if you were watching a video of them, they would have a piece that was written that would do a really good job of kind of really giving you what it is that the controller does. And like Jeff Keighley didn't do that. He's not a journalist. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's not really his thing. So it was just kind of him having a controller. They're showing gameplay and they're showing his face while there's gameplay, but they're not showing his hands in the controller rumbling or feeling something.
Things on there.
Not really. So, I mean, I guess it was kind of cool to reiterate the fact that every PlayStation 5 is going to come with that game.
Yeah.
The Astro's Playroom or whatever. What that game really is and what it really means in the grand scheme of things is probably not much of anything other than trying to showcase what the controller is.
That's it. That's the only reason why I put it and I'll play. That's the only reason.
Right. It's a tech demo. Sony is known for tech demos. It's cool. It's nowhere close to being the kind of tech demo that like Wii Sports was for the Wii. That's what I'll say as far as that's concerned. Having said that, let's talk about some Xbox news because there's been a lot of
Xbox. Terrence wants to know how we feel about the new PlayStation, and are we excited? What's there to look forward to? I'm excited for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm excited for that, and maybe like some of the games they got coming, not at quote unquote release because we don't have dates, but in the launch window. Some of those games I'm excited for. The Spider-Man.
Just the new hardware itself. Just anytime we make a shift into a new generation of gaming consoles, there's always an excitement that I'll always have for it. But just like you said, like we don't necessarily have specific dates on a lot of games as of just yet. So I am going to be happy that we're going to have this powerful box that I just don't know exactly what
don't know what I got to play on yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll keep it real. I'm not real excited about it. Like I know that there's going to be stuff coming. The second Horizon game doesn't really excite me because I didn't think that the first Horizon game was anywhere close to as good as people said it was. It wasn't that it was a bad game, but I feel like people overstated how great of a game it was. It's cool, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't super innovative, didn't do a whole lot that wasn't stuff that we hadn't seen or, whatever before, but it was a good game. So looking forward to the second one of those, that's not really the thing that's going to get me in. What will get me in is a new Spider-Man game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming, but we don't know when. We don't know if it's actually going to be at launch. There's a lot of assumption that it's going to be at launch, but we don't know for a fact that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a shorter game. It's a $40 game, so it's not really a true showcase full game. It really, honestly is more of an add-on to the last Spider-Man game that they're treating like it's something separate. But it's not really a new game, so to speak. And that kind of feels a little bit disingenuous to me. So I'm excited about a new Spider-Man game. I know that there will be stuff in the future. But for the stuff that's coming possibly day one, most of it looks like it's going to be third party. And currently, it looks like that stuff is going to play better, run better on Xbox. We don't know for sure yet, but that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where my money is right now because it looks like that's going to be a more powerful box and it's going to run that stuff that will be on both systems better anyway.
Yep.
So, having said that, let's get into this. Last week, look, we speculated that there's a second console.
Mm-hmm.
We speculated about whether or not we would see anything from it today. We've heard rumors that they were supposed to release it in August. If there is anything that makes me feel more confident that there is another box, it is the fact that Microsoft announced that they are ceasing production on the Xbox One X
and the One X.
And the digital, which tells me two things. The new system must be more powerful than the Xbox One X. And the Xbox One S is now, it still would be the lower system.
Right.
But they're going to keep making those. And that the Lockhart, whatever it is, doesn't have a disk drive.
Agreed.
That's where I'm at. Because they're getting rid of the joint that doesn't have a disk drive.
Right.
And they are getting rid of the other joint that does, but is more powerful than the one they're keeping.
Mm-hmm.
There's something tricky here.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Just surely off the fact, when they originally were talking about Series X, way back when they first made the announcement, it was always the Series X and the One X will be here. The One X will get you in lower price point. You get all these, still get the high definition, get all this, the 4K and all this, but now it's kind of like, oh yeah, we kind of lied. Or like, actually, we're kind of taking that back a little bit. And we're going to shift some things around. So I couldn't imagine that with taking, honestly, I don't want to say the main box, but the second most powerful of the systems out and then not replace it with anything. So I think at this point now, it's just a matter of time for the announcement for it.
It kind of makes me wonder whether or not the Series S is more or less going to be the Xbox One X without a drive.
True.
You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit more powerful than what that was, but that kind of makes sense to me.
Series X, Series S.
Yeah.
There's got to be a Series S, bro. Like, so you'll have a 1S and a Series S and a Series X.
Yeah.
And that to me says that the Series S is probably replacing the 1X, meaning that it is going to be around the price point of what the 1X currently is,
Right.
unless they drop the price of both. And the Series X comes in at the price point that the One X used to be. Mm-hmm. So maybe at $500. But I still think they're playing chicken to see who's going to drop the price first.
They're still fighting around it.
And what that says to me is that they have every intention of undercutting one another.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them. At some point, you have to put a stake in the ground and be like, look, hardware's done. This is what it's going to cost, because you got to start taking pre-orders. It just has to happen.
Absolutely.
I think if Microsoft jumps first, Series X is $400.
Right.
What I think. I think it means that Sony can come out at $400, but they're not going to come out at $350 because they'll have a box that's $350.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft will be able to say, we got a box that's $3.
Yeah.
And we have a box that's $2. And everything you're seeing runs on all of it. That's where it is. So, here's the other thing. Looks like Xbox Live Gold is going away.
I agree.
I saw this.
Yeah,
I agree.
Did you see this?
Yeah,
the 12 month
yeah, 12 month subscription. Yeah, cut those out.
12-month Jones gone. Now I called that they was gonna make a change.
You did.
And that gold pretty much has to be a wrap. I think that in one of these next presentations they do, they're just going to say playing online is free. I think that as you continue to move into that ecosystem, as you continue to do console and PC, it just begins to make more and more sense. You say, look, we want to charge people on PC, and so many people are like, I don't need an Xbox, I can just play on PC. And they get to play online for free. What you're charging them for is Ultimate.
Yep.
Which already includes technically what you're paying for in order to play online. Not being able to get a 12-month subscription basically means that the better deal to be able to get online and play online will absolutely be Game Pass Ultimate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
$15 a month. $15 a month. Hundreds of games, PC and console, and your phone. Your tablet, your whatever, because xCloud is included now.
Yep.
And that starts in September.
Oof.
Another thing I called, because you got to put that xCloud with that Game Pass. Didn't necessarily see them making it at no additional cost.
Yeah, that one called me. That one called the fact that we were getting it in September, and then it was like, oh yeah, we're just throwing this in with it. I was like,
yeah, the timing and no price, like that was just amazing. Like, that's how y'all going. Okay.
Like, you really, like, you're ready to bring it out of beta.
Yeah.
Let's slap Stadia in the face.
Oh, that's a
while we're slapping Stadia, let's slap PlayStation in the face. While we're slapping PlayStation, let's slap Nintendo in the face, too.
All of them, yeah.
We want you to be able to play Xbox games wherever you are, whenever you want. You just have to buy our hardware. Well, not our console hardware, our controller hardware.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you, there's more margin in their controller hardware than there is in their console hardware.
Definitely.
If you can sell a shitin of controllers to people who don't even own an Xbox console, it does also mean you're probably likely to end up with an Xbox console at some point. Like, it just kind of makes sense. But you can use that controller on your PC, which means that more people are playing their PC with those controllers as opposed to PlayStation controllers, because it's the better controller, because they can also use that controller on their phone to play the same games that they can continue playing. There's a system here. There's a thing that's happening here.
Keeping you in the ecosystem. Xbox controller. Play on it. Play on anything. Play on every. Yeah, play everywhere. Still using our controllers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're on our laptops. You're on our tablets.
Wherever. Just play it. Just play our stuff.
I was playing Yakuza Kiwami on my phone the other day.
Nice.
It felt pretty flawless.
Nice.
Like it felt pretty flawless.
And mess with it. See how far it's come along. Haven't done that.
Let's talk about the Summer Gaming Spotlight that they're doing right now. So over 70 games available on the Xbox for you to download and demo for free. Sin, you've been digging in a little bit.
I have been.
You got some standouts?
I do have some standouts.
Talk to me. What's standing out?
Chris Tales, number 1. That's the first thing I went for.
Right.
I take you're feeling me on this.
Bruh.
Yeah.
They doing something with that joint, man.
I love
that
the art
going back and forth between
the past, present, and future. That's dope. That's dope. And like it's always there. So you're finding yourself moving slowly around the town because you're trying, okay, in this panel, that's the past. That's
you
what
looking at everything that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's I love the artwork. It looks beautiful.
I'm not giving you any more slims. I said enough slims.
But no, if you haven't if you haven't tried, I would suggest downloading and run through that demo. Chris Tales is.
Yeah, I actually when I booted it up or boot up just to look at the different, I was actually a little lost because it was just like it was 71 titles when you look at the number, it was 71, and I just didn't know where to start. So I went ahead and I picked something out that's a little bit different. Normally, what I don't do. This is normally more of a gauge thing, and it was actually a puzzle game that was in there. I forget the name of it. It stood out a little bit. It looked like it was like during, I don't want to say like Roman times or whatnot ever, but essentially you're just collecting feathers in the game, but you have to do it within a certain amount of moves. So normally this is something I know is kind of up Gage's alley, but I was like, let me try and jump into this because this is something different for me, and it got kind of fun. And then it got to the point I was like, I got to one level and I was like, oh my god, I can't figure this out, but I gotta figure this out. So that was a little something that got
exactly my kind of joint.
that got addictive. And then the other one I tried was, I forget the name of it again. It was a samurai game. It's like the very first game because I know it has a number.
I know what you're talking about.
It's the very first one that's on there. That joint's kind of clean.
9.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I do. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm about to look at it. I'm about to tell you now.
That joint's,
keep going.
That joint's kind of clean. It's kind of like the Street of Rage thing. Like Street of Rage, I know the sides.
9 Monkeys of Shadow.
9 Monkeys. There we go. But the joint is clean. Like the fighting that you can do in there. You got your staff that you're pretty much beating people up with. The joint is smooth and it's clean. It looks good.
Sin disagreed. Sin didn't like it.
No, I thought
Sin said that joint was garbage.
You thought it was trash?
I thought it was trash.
I thought that joint was kind of clean.
I tried it for a little bit. It was like, I'm done with this. Get out of it now.
Were you just getting whooped? Was that what it was? Were you getting whooped? Was that what it was?
No.
You were getting whooped, Sin?
I just was not feeling that joint.
I thought that joint was kind of clean. I like it.
Nah.
My man said, that joint is garbage.
Yeah.
He said that joint was garbage. What else did you play, Sin?
Haven. I when they first showed us in like that PlayStation showcase, I was like, all right, whatever. Then during the Summer Game Fest, I watched a developer interview and went into more details and made me more interested in it. I'm digging Haven. I think they need to tighten up the flight controls a little bit. But other than that, I'm really digging it. I like playing off the whole couple aspect, trapped on a planet on the run or whatever.
A weird planet, trying to figure out how to live together, and it's like a love story too.
It's really cool. One thing I thought that was interesting, I don't know if you played it, B, but like when you're in the spaceship, I don't think you're playing as them. It's more like you're just a camera floating around, clicking on stuff. Because I thought I was playing like the guy or the girl at first, like just walking around, and then you go into the room and they're both laying there. They're like, then who am I controlling right now? Or am I just like a camera walking around looking at stuff?
I mean, I guess I would say that I agree with that to an extent. I think, I don't know if you're supposed, I guess, yeah. Like, I feel like you are supposed to be like a third person, just kind of, I think the whole thing is supposed to be like that. Like, not just on the ship, but that, like, you're it's almost less like you're playing it and, like, you're witnessing it.
Yeah. But I can go and interact with the buttons on the ship and cook and everything. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I found that kind of odd and weird. But I was enjoying it. I'm definitely looking forward to that one when it's all done and said.
One of the joints that stood out to me is a joint called Raji. It's like the ancient Raji, the ancient epic, which is like based in Indian culture and religion. It's like an overhead, top-down beat. I mean, it's gorgeous. It feels really well put together. Like, it feels like they could release it this year. Like, maybe there's a little bit of tweaking, but the combat is clean. The story, the sound, the audio, like, it's everything is like. I just recommend you check it out. If you haven't, check that joint out. There's a couple puzzle joints that really probably a little more my speed than y'all, and I won't get into it. I just encourage anybody, if you have an Xbox, the demos are only up until I think Monday, like the 27th.
That's right.
So go in, download a few. There's 70 games. I mean, you're not going to download them all.
Oof.
Grab the ones that stick out to you. I will say that something like this is definitely like one of those things when you're looking at 70 joints and you're trying to decide what I'm going to download and what I'm going to try out or whatever, your cover art needs to be dope.
Yes.
The name of your game needs to be dope. And you should probably have a trailer. Because the joints that didn't have trailers, I
kind of went right past them. They have pictures, but the pictures don't do justice all the time. So it's like...
There was one or two that I went ahead and downloaded anyway. Like, let me just give it a shot if it sounded interesting. But I would highly recommend doing that.
I mean, look, I'm in the house right now because I'm working from home. So I just was downloading a bunch of them.
You just needed a download all button so you could just have them all just be on the box.
Like I was telling Gage earlier, I was straight up. Like, it was so many of them. I'm like, all right, look, I go in. If you ain't got me, I'm out. Delete. Like, I'm on to the next one.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to complete all these. It's way too many. You gotta pull me in.
Yeah, that's weird. Let's talk about Rocket League going free to play. Did y'all hear about that?
Did hear about that.
Yeah.
Isn't it about time?
Yeah.
So Rocket League is getting ready to go free to play. You know, not that that's. I mean, I just think it's time. You're right, Jokes, and I think it makes sense. It just does. The more people you can get in because they're in there playing for free. Again, it's one of those things where the majority of people who started playing it were playing it for free anyway because they got it when that game dropped. It dropped into PlayStation Plus.
Yep.
It was a free game there.
Yep.
And so for a lot of people, it got kicked off and became a thing because they got the opportunity to play it for free. And sure, they made a lot of sales. A lot of people bought it after that. You know, it's gone free in other places since then, but it just kind of makes sense for that game to be free because they're doing a good job of monetizing the cosmetic stuff. You know what I mean? That they can continue to sustain it. So I just wanted to drop that nugget. Now, why on the planet you call home is World of Tanks doing a crossover with WWE SummerSlam? Jokes.
So yeah, you gotta ask him on that one.
So that caught me until you posted that in the wrestling group. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I'm just like, I was like, target audience. Like, sir, you were 100% correct because they are now going to get me to download this damn game.
Hey, Gage, I was about to say how much you would have paid. He's not playing World of Tanks.
But that, you know, I didn't get to play it yet. I did download it. I hadn't had a chance to go to it yet. But I know probably WWE's trying to promote SummerSlam. Like, they actually just announced that SummerSlam is not going to be held at the TD Arena now. I mean, kind of figured as much. And it was like they're going to announce another location later. Let's be real, it's going to be the Performance Center. But I guess they're trying to figure other ways out that they can start to have a little bit more of that revenue come in since they're not necessarily going to get it the typical way that they can do it. And I mean, WWE's been partnering with a lot of games. So I know they did Brawlhalla. That was one that got me to download. Okay. I wouldn't probably have played that originally, but then they showed like all the characters that they added in for that. So I'm cool to go ahead and drop me the World of Tanks. Just give me some skins.
Are you gonna get that? Are you gonna get that 2K joint? The 2K wrestling joint?
Battlegrounds I actually am thinking about getting. Just because it looks fun. Like I don't necessarily I just don't necessarily need the regular 2K because right now I don't think 2K they gotta trash that and start over from scratch again. So I just feel like this
anyway,
is. I just feel like this is just going to be some clean fun to just go in, just not even having to worry about it. It's just going to be fun, kind of like what they did with All Stars back in the day. All Stars was fun when it came out, just stupid fun chaos type stuff. So
I dig it.
I'm eager to see what other partnerships they do probably throughout the rest of this year. I definitely think they're probably going to lean more heavily into the gaming side since they're not really going to focus on the 2K aspect for right now.
I mean, look, man, a Stone Cold tank, an Undertaker tank.
Hey,
I'm good. I'm good.
I don't know. What if there's a Ric Flair tank, and like every time you like blow something up or run over it, it don't just yells out "woo" for no reason.
And there's no cannon shot. It's just a woo every time it shoots. Woo!
Every time that joint get hit, it bleed on the forehead. You know what part of the tank is the forehead, but I mean the tanks look cool. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, I don't know. You'll have to give me a full report, sir, after you get a chance to play it.
Yes, sir.
I'm not prepared to jump in. All right, man. Look, let's talk about this showcase from today. Let's get to the nitty and the gritty.
Oh man.
All right.
We're just gonna run it down in the order that it happened. So let's just start with Halo.
Yes.
Halo Infinite. We got our first look at it.
Is this what we've been waiting for? I mean, feels kind of open world.
Mm-hmm.
Does.
Somebody went to the map, find a location,
mm-hmm.
pinpoint the section, do it in the order you want. They said the ring is bigger than both of the last two games combined.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
I'm about that.
Let's go.
We're not talking multiplayer yet.
Nope, just a single player campaign right now.
I'm gonna tell you what's the most interesting thing about what I saw today. Game looked beautiful. Sound is different. Slipstream engine, like it. I mean, it looks like Halo, but it don't look like Halo. I noticed the guns sound different. That was kind of bothering me a little bit because I'm just so used to what them guns sound like.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed the guns sounded different, but whatever. I'll get over it. I'll get used to that. It's the most interesting thing, and I feel like they did this on purpose. So they went from the trailer, like kind of thing, cutscene or whatever in the beginning, to like the start screen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all notice that joint said demo?
Demo. Yeah,
I did know.
I said the same thing to myself.
It said start the demo,
and I was like, "Please give."
Man, I was waiting for them to be like,
"Hey, it's available today."
Yeah. I almost backed out and went to the store and just preemptively like, hold up. Is it in there?
I was waiting for that.
Because after they showed it, then they went to Phil Spencer talking. I was like, this dude's
Phil's about to drop.
They didn't do it.
It's okay.
But clearly it's coming.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's coming. It clearly is coming. You don't put a joint up like that, labeled as a demo, and you're not getting ready to drop a demo. So they're definitely going to drop a demo. And I have a feeling that not only will they drop the demo, I think they'll make the single player demo open for everybody, but I think they're going to drop a multiplayer demo.
Have to.
And that joint is only going to be if you're in Game Pass.
Perfectly fine with that.
I know you are because you got it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. Man, that's 60 FPS, bruh. That Halo look good, man.
It looks good.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to jump out of Warthog and
I'm liking the new weapons.
I'm ready to jump out of Warthog and elbow a grunt in the mouth.
I was liking the new weapons we were seeing, like
the little chain thing that you can like shoot up and pull. It's a grappling hook. Oh my god, that was pretty cool. I could have used that in old Halo days and so many points. Made life so much easier.
Yeah, that's another one I'm definitely looking forward to for the holidays.
We got a quick trailer for State of Decay 3.
Mm-hmm.
That excites me. That came out of nowhere. I was excited about that. Once I found out what it was, I was like, oh, okay.
I've been hearing rumors about it, but it seems like they might be going in a slightly different direction, and it seems like it might have a more realistic look and feel to it.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what that means. I mean, it's just a trailer. That doesn't really mean a lot to me because it's just, like not a gameplay trailer or anything like that.
We're getting zombie deer. I mean,
hey, there's zombie animals.
Yeah, that does say to me that there will be animals in the game instead of just being like human zombies or whatever. So
kind of interesting.
And then that's cool. So Phil came on. He came on after State of Decay and talked about what was going on. And I found one of the things that I thought was the most interesting that he said was that he specifically said we have the most consistently powerful hardware. Like, as if like, yeah, I mean the PlayStation is powerful, but it ain't consistent. Like you're gonna have to pick. You're gonna be forced to pick between like one thing or the other more than you will.
Isn't that something they said about the PS5? Like it clocks depending on like the game or whatever. Something like that it's supposed to be doing or whatever. So if it doesn't need all of it, doesn't use all of it, something weird like that.
Something like that.
Okay.
Hey, listen, it just felt like a shot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I just found it interesting that he spoke about the consistency of the power.
Mm-hmm.
That he chose to call that out. Forza Motorsport.
Mm-hmm.
Turn 10 shows up. Forza. We're not getting one. It ain't happening this year.
Nope.
They're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
That joint looked incredible.
That joint looked amazing.
Beautiful. I didn't expect anything from Turn 10 though when it comes to cars.
It looked really good.
Here's what I found interesting about that.
I wonder if
no number on it.
That's what I was gonna say too. And I was like,
was just Forza Motorsport.
So I was really intrigued. But I was like, So we're not stamping this as 8 per se, but I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna be 8.
They're just gonna
I think it's gonna be Forza Motorsport, and it's gonna be a platform, and they're just gonna keep adding to it. They'll add new tracks. They'll add new cars.
What I was thinking.
I think that's what they're gonna do. I think it's a platform now. Forza Motorsport is a platform. We're not gonna keep giving you a new game every 2 years or whatever. We're just gonna keep adding on to it, updating it.
Mm-hmm. And so forth. And this would be a good place to start with it on a brand new hardware that you only have probably tapped the potential. Like even though it looks really good right now, probably what you can pull out of it like in another year, 2 years for it that you can add on to.
Yeah, but I mean, in another year or 2 years, you might feel like you would want to do a new one because you could make it look better. You know what I'm saying? Like they do consistently get better looking year over year, but they are more or less the same thing. Like one of the things that we kind of complain about with something like Madden is that like they're more or less the same joint every year. It's just a roster update or whatever. We feel like something like Madden or NBA 2K or whatever could just be a platform, just update it or whatever, and people will be fine. They'll play it. You might not really need to put another one out, like for maybe every 3 years or something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the same thing, but I also feel like them doing that and making it a platform is a thing that makes more sense when you are working to continue to pull people into Game Pass. That is a Game Pass move to me. We're not trying to sell you a new $60 game every 2 years. We want you to pay for Game Pass and consistently put money in the bucket. And then when we put out new content, you'll buy the content at the discount that we give you because you have Game Pass. So you'll buy car packs. You'll buy, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll buy new tracks, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
And also be on the same note that you're talking, when you go to upgrade, if you don't get the Series X, when you go to upgrade to get a newer console, all your stuff's already there. The same thing you playing, it just looks better, all your stuff's already there, you don't even gotta think about it.
Right. It's that come get in this ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right? Let's not try to give you a game with like 3 DLC packs that are coming, and we're going to try to maintain it over the next year, then take a year off while they give you Forza Horizon and then give you another one. Nah, we're just going to stay consistent and kind of move and update and adjust things because whether you know it or you like it or not, Sea of Thieves is working. Sea of Thieves is working. They hit 15 million players this week.
Mm-hmm.
Sea of Thieves is working, bruh. People are in there and they are playing the game, and it is working for Rare. So there is a model there that clearly is one that they are able to monetize using Game Pass, and that's the thing that makes the most sense. And if you don't want to do Game Pass, which doesn't make sense for you not to, but if you don't want to do Game Pass, buy the game and be in the ecosystem. And then buy the, you know what I mean? And then eventually you'll realize I probably could just be paying for Game Pass.
Yep.
It's just one of those things. So I think that's the kind of move that I'm seeing with that.
No, Terry's asked, do we know if PlayStation 4 games will be able to be played on the PlayStation 5? They're testing the quote-unquote top 100 games, but they haven't said anything definitive.
Concrete, yeah. So assumption is some
what they've
will,
said is, that the majority of the top 100 PlayStation 4 games will work. And they have said that anything made for the PlayStation 4 that came out after April this year has to also work on the PlayStation 5. So anything that comes out for PlayStation 4 from this April on has to work on a PS5. And again, up to the top 100. Not necessarily the top 100. They tested the top 100 games to try to get those working. And I think at the time when Mark Cerny did the talk, it was like 80% of them were working, something like that. So that's about 80 games out of 100, out of the top 100.
It's not bad.
That work. So yes, there will be some level of backwards compatibility from the PlayStation 4 over to the PlayStation 5, but it won't be anywhere near what Xbox is doing, because PlayStation is more or less drawing a line in the sand and saying PlayStation 4 ends here. Now you need to buy a PlayStation 5 if you want to keep rocking with us. We don't do PlayStation 4 anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're moving on. We believe in a dividing line between what is 4 and what is 5, and we believe that there should be a generational shift.
What's up, Alfonso?
And Microsoft is leaning much more towards the, hey, look, man, we believe that your games that you bought should continue to go with you like they do on your phone, like they do, you know what I mean? Like, we believe that the stuff that you paid for, you should be able to keep rocking with it, and that's a little more what they're leaning on. Let's talk about Rare. So we got a chance to look at Everwild. And man, that joint looks incredible, bruh.
I'm digging it.
I still don't know what it is.
Same.
I'd like to know what it is.
I'm digging it though right now. They got me paying attention to it.
Oh, Princess Mononoke looking just, what are y'all doing, man? Is it 4 players co-op? Are we dancing in combination together to make the forest spirit come along and bring
I don't know, but it's
bring the radio back to life?
It's beautiful.
That one looks incredible. Tell Me Why by Don't Nod. Don't Nod, man. They got some stellar stuff, man. They always do really good story, episodic content that I really like. This looks good. I mean, it looks better than their older stuff, like just as far as like the updated visuals. But I feel like the characters look like marionettes. Like the way they were talking and their mouths were moving and they were moving, like they look like the Dark Crystal. They look like Gelflings. Like they look like they were on strings or something. Like, I don't know. There was something about that I found a little tricky. But that joint's coming out soon. That's August 27th.
Yeah, the first episode.
You know, that's cool. And that's an interesting thing, because there have been people who are speculating that Microsoft is going to buy Don't Nod. This game is published by Microsoft Game Studios, so it's probably not going to be anywhere else. But it could just be for a certain period of time for this, because we've seen stuff like that where it could end up somewhere else after the fact. How about Ori?
I know that excites
Getting a little bit of an update.
You gonna get it? Since you already got the other two? You gonna get this one? Well, being Game Pass.
It's a no-brainer.
It's all that matters, dog. 120 frames? What?
That's
what?
Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna run it. Yeah, I want the better audio. Yes. I'm gonna play it again. Yes. Outer Worlds DLC, Peril and Gorgon, coming out September 9th. That's cool. I didn't play through Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds is cool. I thought it's dope that they're doing that. I like it. Same with Obsidian is up here. Then we got to look at Grounded, another Obsidian joint. That joint's about to go live.
July 28th.
7/28. I thought it was cool that there was a toy Battletoads in the backyard.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I don't know. It's like I've been kind of on the fence about Grounded, but I don't know what it was about this trailer. I'm John looking forward to when it comes out now and running some co-op.
Bro, you already know we playing it, man. It's 4-player co-op. You already know we playing.
Hey, I'm ready now. I'm now on board with it.
Game preview. So then, the big RPG they've been talking about that's coming out, Avowed. Old Skyrim looking joint. Old Skyrim killer looking joint. Hey, bro, I'm in there.
Look,
that joint looks first person, magic, sword fighting, RPG. Yes. Because we're not getting another Elder Scrolls for like 3 years.
No time soon.
Yeah.
Back burner.
Yeah.
I'm in there. As Dusk Falls. It's an indie title by this Interior Night was the name of the company.
Okay.
Set over like a 30-year period in the American Southwest. Was like an interactive drama. Looked interesting. I don't know if... I mean, I'll check it out. It'll be on Game Pass. I'll check it out.
No, that's the one great thing about
information.
A lot of these games. That's the one great thing about these games that we're talking about. Game
All
Pass.
of these joints in Game Pass.
Everything is in Game Pass. They said they
right.
made that right after State of Decay. He made sure that everybody knew that everything that they were showing today was all going to be available on Game Pass on those release dates.
So even titles, I may be like, okay, whatever. Doesn't matter how Game Pass. Yeah, I can download and try it.
Yup. So we got a little information about Senua's Saga. I mean, it's cool. There's a new dev diary. If you want to check that out. We know now that it's set in Iceland.
Look pretty.
And they're going to talk about that in the dev diary and what they did to kind of help rebuild that. So that'll be cool. I haven't checked that out yet because it didn't go live until after the showcase, and I just ain't had time. But I will. It was cool to get like a really good trailer for Psychonauts 2. I'm not a big Psychonauts fan, but I think it's important that they're doing it because people have been looking for it, wanting it.
Yeah.
It's from that, you know what I'm saying, original Xbox era. So I think, that'll be cool. I mean, the song sounded dope. Jack Black was doing his thing.
No, he was doing his thing in the studio.
He was crushing that joint. My man was hitting the vibrato on certain notes, boy. I was like, oh, Jack Black, get that thing, bro. Yeah, he was killing them joints. All right, look.
I was going to say, you want me to take the next one?
Let's talk about Destiny 2, bro.
Woo!
Did he just sit up?
There was a little sit up in there.
He stood up a little bit.
Man, listen. That right there, bro, is a power play.
They try to pull him back in?
Powerful.
They try to pull me back in.
That caught me. Like, I mean, granted, it's already free to get in and play the vanilla Destiny 2. But when you throw it in the Game Pass, and on top of that, all the current DLC you'll be able to access. Plus, when the new DLC drops in November, you will have access to that as well too. I damn near passed out.
Game Pass must be working. It must be working.
And I hadn't pre-ordered. And I hadn't pre-ordered yet. And I'm like, holy crap. I was like, I'm in there. Now, granted, I know they said like the seasonal type thing, some of that you'll still have to pay for, but the fact that you're getting pretty much the big chunk of the DLC included in Game Pass, say no more.
But here's the thing that even on top of that, if a game is in Game Pass and you have Game Pass, when they drop DLC, you get a discount.
Discount on it. Discount.
Yo, let me tell you what is probably the actual most important part about this is how much they actually stressed that it will be available on mobile for you to play using xCloud. And let me tell you, it's already on xCloud. And let me tell you that I've already played it on xCloud. And let me tell you that it works. And that is so important because it's a shooter.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It needs to work, and it needs to work well. Over internet, on your phone. And it works, bruh. And they're talking about it like, yo, I want you to know, not only are you getting all of this because you're in Game Pass, but you can go ahead and just play it on your phone. Play it, you know what I mean?
It's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta understand that this is a play to say, look, this is not a Microsoft game. This is not a Microsoft Studios game. This is, we want people who are not going to buy an Xbox, who have already decided, I'm not doing it. We want you to pay for Game Pass, get the DLC, and play Destiny 2 on your phone, wherever you are. Play it on your iPad. That is what this is.
Oh, it's so dope.
That is a big deal.
Chess move.
That's a power move.
Check.
Yeah.
And mate.
And I think that might be why they push a new DLC back to November. I know, 10th.
In a combination of it.
Yeah.
Because, it made me wonder, because originally Destiny didn't always sell the collector's editions separate without having the DLC in there. Whenever you bought it, you had to buy everything, and it was either the physical or you got the digital code. So with New Light, or not the new one that's popping up, when I was getting ready to just go ahead and pre-order the collector's edition. But then I noticed that there was a version of the collector's edition that didn't have the game included with it, and that was a little different for me, because I'm like, they're trying to sell the collector's edition without actually having the game attached to it. And I was like, okay, cool. You want to get the trinkets and all that good stuff out of there, but it was something a little different about that. It just had a feel to it that I was like, there's something else behind it.
This new update for Destiny's been interesting. Like I told you, I had to buy the season. Like I had to buy it.
And I thought that was weird. But yeah. You didn't buy I think, whatever the biggest version of.
Oh, I got it. I'm telling you, I went through, I vetted everything. I had it, and I had to pick up the season. So, I mean.
I had it all.
Well, if you could have waited till September.
You would have got it in Game Pass.
True, but I'm good. It was just a season, ain't the DLC. I'm good.
That's a big deal. So following that, everything after that was an exclusive console launch. So obviously this stuff is going to come elsewhere later on. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get too deep into it, but Stalker 2, new Warhammer Dark Side, that's coming 2021. Tetris Effect Connected. That might be a problem. That joint looks like crack. I was seriously considering Tetris Effects on PlayStation 5, and the only reason why I didn't buy it is because I felt like it would be more important for me to play it in VR than to just have it and play it. And because I wasn't going to spend the money on PlayStation VR, I never ended up getting it. And now I'm glad I didn't. Because it'll be in Game Pass. The Gunk, man, it looks like it's cool.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be in Game Pass.
The Medium, which we had seen already, but this is the first time we really got to see, like, I love the way they did the side-by-side of, like, both worlds coexisting at the exact same time.
Yeah, that was sweet, but y'all can have that.
Right. But that's one of the games that there was an interview that they did where they talked about how, like, what they're doing with that was not the kind of thing that is possible without the power of what they can do with the Xbox Series X. That's not a game that's going to be on everything the way, like, the Xbox Game Studios games are. And I think there's some confusion about that. Like, Microsoft is not saying that all games, period, are going to be on everything. Like, if you're a third-party publisher, you can decide if you want your games to still be on the one, or available on the one, or just want them on the series. You can do that. So, new Genesis, PSO, Phantasy Star Online 2, new content, new world.
I like it.
That's a move.
I like it.
That's a move.
I like it.
Crossfire X campaign. Now, look, there was a beta test joint for Crossfire X. It's really popular outside of the U.S. Look, man, mostly garbage. But what I find interesting is that they're doing this single player campaign, and that the single player campaign is made by Remedy. Not known for shooters.
I missed that part.
Remedy is doing this single player campaign for Crossfire. It's not Smile Gate.
I thought the single player campaign was fire.
Oh, that's
kind of fun.
I agree. And so I'm a lot more interested. I'm glad it's in Game Pass. And then the one more thing.
Yeah.
Fable, the real thing is happening. You didn't really show me anything. So I'm glad it's happening, but I can't get excited yet.
2-3 years probably.
I will reiterate. They said, look, we're only showing you stuff from 9 of our 15 studios. You're going to see 5 titles nobody's ever seen before. Cool. We got that. They said, clearly that means we have more stuff to show you. So look forward to that coming. So it just means that whatever they're doing in August, maybe they are going to actually do a reveal of the new console along with, some new titles or whatever. I think that'll be intermixed. I am telling you beyond telling you that there will be more Game Pass news specifically. And I am telling you upon telling you, like I've been saying, I am banking on there being third-party games that just drop day one, even if they're available elsewhere in the Game Pass. I'm waiting for that announcement. I think that's happening because Game Pass is absolutely working. And when you have people saying that not only is it working, but we're seeing our sales go up outside of Xbox when we drop into Game Pass.
I was saying, Destiny doing what it just did. It's obviously working and working very well.
Clearly.
And you get the new DLC. Hey guys, by the way,
just
take all the DLC and the new DLC. Wait, you giving us the new DLC to put in Game Pass too? Yes. Take the new DLC and put it in Game Pass.
Just think about that. How much is the DLC?
$40, if I'm not mistaken.
How much is it new? Like $30?
Mm-hmm.
30, $40, something like that.
Oh,
generally, the DLCs are about $30 a piece. It's like 3 of them in there, right?
Yep.
That's $90. Game Pass $15 a month.
It's worth it.
Am I? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're right. Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking in the chat. Terry's asked, are we more PlayStation heads or Xbox? Because he's PlayStation. I'm a gamer.
We can all say that on 3 together, but I mean, you can see my background.
Nah, we're more Xbox heads. I mean, look, we'll play on whatever. Like, we'll play if there's a game that's only available in one place, we'll play it there. But for the most part, we play on Xbox. Like, it just is what it is. It's kind of where the ecosystem exists.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Game Pass makes it worth it. But we play we play.
We all have Xbox, we all have PlayStation, we all have a Switch. So
I guess Tyrone feeling some type of way because Tyrone Carson asked us, did they reveal a Superman game? No.
Nah, it didn't show up. No Superman game.
Nah, they didn't because it's not possible to make a good Superman game. So you can go play Superman 64.
64?
Can't make a good game for a character that has too much power because you can't make nobody for him to fight. That's what it is. Your Superman game is called Injustice.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yeah, and leave it at that.
And he's the boss. He's the bad guy. He's the at the end of the game. And that's the only way he can be dope. He got to be the villain. Yeah, I think it's interesting to look at the way the paths are beginning to diverge between what Nintendo is doing, which currently seems like nothing, which is working for them because, like, the 2 games they have put out this year, burning up the charts.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, burning up the charts. But we have no idea what Nintendo's doing for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like, they just released Paper Mario, but they literally just, like, dropped a tweet, and it was just like, yeah, Paper Mario coming out, like, next week. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, they're just so, like, nonchalant about it. Like, just, we know who we are. You know what we about to do? Got to drop a Mario joint. play that joint. You know what I mean? Like they just do whatever they want. PlayStation still I feel like some hubris, being as successful as they have been with selling consoles and continuing to sell consoles. I don't think that the sales of PlayStation 4s are going to slow down unless they decide to just stop making them.
Agreed.
I think people will continue to just buy PlayStation 4s because the library is so vast and so good. So people will just keep buying them. So unless Sony says we're not making them anymore, if you want to play, you got to buy a PlayStation 5, which is still kind of up in the air because even though they've said they've upped the amount of PlayStation 5s they're going to make available.
Wait till we see that.
Over the release period. We're talking probably November through March.
Mm-hmm.
They basically doubled it from like 5 million to like 10 million units. I would expect that they're still intending to sell a lot of PlayStation 4s this holiday. Drop the price, bundle them with some dope new games like Last of Us 2 or something along those lines. Possibly with a Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
And sell a ton of PlayStation 4s this holiday. Especially if they can't get PlayStation 5s to people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference is going to be that even if Microsoft can't get you Series X's, if you go to get one and it ain't there, the games they're talking about you playing and you being in the ecosystem means you can buy one of their other systems at cheap, still play those games, and then upgrade when you're ready.
Yep.
The fact that they are touting the fact that, you can just buy a joint now and get on our payment plan, which includes Game Pass, and playing online and paying for the system, and then you can upgrade to the Series X when you're ready. That's a power move. You know what I'm saying? Let's just finance this joint. Come on, let's get you in here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There are very different strategies that are happening, and I really am beginning to see that it's going to start to get harder to actually directly compare these three console manufacturers, the three big dogs, to one another, because they're not doing the same thing anymore.
Everybody's kind of starting to branch off and look at the way the future landscape is headed, and they're all taking different directions.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo's doing their own thing anyway.
Yeah, they're in their own box. They doing it well what they do, and they're just gonna keep on trying with it.
I mean, they haven't been able to compete from a technological standpoint since the GameCube. That's the last time they had something that was relatively on par power-wise to what the other two had, to PlayStation 2 and you know what I mean, and to Xbox. Going into the 360 and the PlayStation 3 era, they were just like, nah, dog, we doing standard def. We going yellow, white, and red, bro.
Take these RCA cables.
Because everybody doesn't have an HD TV.
And I hear them, and that joint worked for them. They sold way more than everybody else. Wii's were it. But ever since that happened, they just been on this other path. And I think that they've been able to see that path as something that existed because in that era, they always also had handhelds, which also always sold generally better than any of the other consoles. And so you were getting stuff that had great games that were stuck only in that system that didn't have anywhere close to the power of even their home console. You know what I mean? Like, they were basically selling you like an old SNES in a, you know, saying in a handheld. It wasn't like they was really trying to give you nothing crazy powerful, but they knew they could do it and that the games could be successful and that people would buy it. That's where the Switch is right now. Now we don't have two different ecosystems to play in. It's all one ecosystem. The portable joint is the home joint. That's where we are. We don't have to give you the power. We got the quality games. Just come play. And half the games that are on those other systems, those indie games or whatever, are trying to look like old NES games. Old SNES games. So they're in a whole different ball game. PlayStation is really trying to continue that, and I do feel like this is part of the stubbornness of PlayStation. Not PlayStation. Let me not say PlayStation. This is a part of the stubbornness of Sony. Sony has a business model that intends to sell you proprietary product all the time.
Disgusting.
That's the way they do things. We put out a new camera. You buy the new camera. None of your old stuff for your old camera that's the model from before this works on a new camera. Buy all new crap. You know what I'm saying? SD cards, we never heard of them joints. Buy a Magic Disc. Buy it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I learned that when I got the Vita and I tried to buy a memory card. I just can't use the SD.
Vita was.
And then you sit and look at the price of them things. Like, come on now. Y'all trying to charge me like the price of 2 games for a memory card. Like, y'all bugging.
For a memory card. And I will tell you that is a good portion of what killed the Vita. If the Vita had been able to use regular memories, it would have sold way better.
Yep. I fully agree.
SD would have done it.
Look, luckily the one I got came with a weak one. Yeah, that's all I needed. Yeah.
That's especially because of the connectivity between the Vita, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4. Like being able to play your games from your console on the Vita. Like they did some really dope, super innovative stuff with it.
I miss my Vita.
But then it was like, where's the bundle with the console and the Vita together?
Yeah.
And go ahead, let me be able to use regular memory.
Yeah.
So they live and die by that. And I feel like right now, some of that stubbornness is showing where they're like, no, a new console means a new console. And so PlayStation 4, if you want to play PlayStation 4 games, fine, play the old stuff. We moving on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a very kind of a stubborn, like, we're prepared to leave you behind even if we can't make enough systems for you to buy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't believe in that. We're not doing that. And I feel like there's this reluctance to admit that business tactic, while it does work, is probably more anti-consumer and might end up hurting them in the same way that they're like, no, we're not letting people play games on our system with people on other systems. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about Fortnite. We're not going to do it. Yes, you are. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, you do care.
They said we can't do it. And for someone accidentally flipped the switch on, it was like, oops, we can do it.
They gave them it's not possible. And we have to be able to protect our people who play online. Shut up. You gave everybody's information away like 5 years ago. Y'all was shut down for like a month.
Busted.
Your internet's garbage. Stop playing around. You're not protecting people. Stop it. So like, there's that kind of like very stubbornness, which to a certain extent, I feel like has to do with certain like Japanese just kind of staying like honor and you know what I mean, like just kind of dealing with certain things. I just think is part of what that is. I think it's gonna bite them if they're not careful, right? Because right now their hand is being forced and they have been forced.
Yeah.
As the gaming community and third-party companies continue to say, no, cross-play is a thing. Cross-save is a thing. Whether or not you have a PlayStation 5 will not matter. And Xbox doesn't actually... Let me not say they don't care if you buy an Xbox Series X. I just want you to understand that, like, the PlayStation Showcase was designed to get you to decide you wanted to spend your money on a PlayStation 5. This showcase was not. This showcase was designed to get you to decide you needed to have Game Pass. Whether you get it on PC, whether you buy a Series X, or you play on one of our old systems, we're good. Buy a PlayStation 5 and buy you an Xbox One S. Get in this ecosystem. Start to realize that what we're giving you for the price we're giving it to you is better than anything else you can get. That's where they are. Yes, that's cool. Go ahead and play on PlayStation. Buy a PlayStation. Pay them for the console that doesn't actually make them any money. Buy their exclusives. That's cool. We can't give you those. Play everything else here. because it's going to be in Game Pass, and because it's going to look better and run better on our system if you decide you want to go there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, nothing about this showcase to me said you need to go buy an Xbox Series X. Like, they touted power,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't about that. It's not like they showed the most breathtaking 4K 60 games you can find anywhere. They weren't showcasing third-party games that are going to be better, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This was literally about everything on here is in Game Pass. If any two of these games seem even remotely interesting to you, let us get $15 from you. We'll show you why the rest of it is important.
That's it.
That's all this was. It's not about selling a console. And again, even PlayStation's head exec said it's not going to be about selling a console soon.
Right.
They know it. They already signed that deal with Microsoft to get into their Azure. Like, the cloud thing is going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy to see it be like, nope, you want to play games? You better buy a console. You know what I'm saying? Even as they're going, well, yeah, we're starting to put our exclusive joints on PC. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
To see Microsoft be like, just jump in here and play these games. Play wherever you want. Play them on your phone. We're good. You need Game Pass to do it. You know what I'm saying? And to see Nintendo be like, play handheld. Nah, play on your TV. You know what? Do whichever one you feel like.
True.
It's so crazy to see them not. It seems head to head. I think that more than anything now the philosophies are head to head, but it's not necessarily like. I don't necessarily think Microsoft has any intention of trying to outsell systems.
Mm-hmm.
I think they learned already during this generation that like they sold enough to do better than they did with 360,
Mm-hmm.
and they're making crazy money with Game Pass. And what they're doing with Game Pass is working for other publishers, for third parties, for them, obviously. And it means that Sony's going to have to make a move with PlayStation Now.
Mm-hmm.
It might mean that they also have to start cutting better deals with the people who have games that might be in PlayStation Now. But I think we're getting ready to see a change from Sony as far as that's concerned. I think PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now are getting ready to get a combination of some sort. I think if you have PlayStation Plus, you're getting PlayStation Now. I think they're going to up the price, or something like that. They're going to do something to try to stay in that ecosystem. I don't think they're quite ready to say all of our first-party titles will be included.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're ready to do that. I do, however, think they're going to have to do something because PlayStation Plus right now is relatively worthless by comparison to what it was because they chop the number of games they give you per month more than in half.
Yeah, and the ones they be giving you don't be like
and they be
all the time.
They just be pulling these shows out the closet. Like, here's a couple that we forgot about. Here, we're gonna give you these games for free. Like,
you're right, and I'm gonna be frank. Games with gold, relatively garbage these days.
True.
Relatively garbage these days.
Game Pass.
Here's why it doesn't matter. Because all the stuff you actually want or that they would give you is in Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. True.
Which now, technically, is part of gold if you have Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
So you get those games anyway. So it's a very interesting landscape, man. I think that this showcase was solid.
I can go with
I don't think I was blown away by anything.
Nah.
I don't think there was anything that made me be like, oh, I got it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
the stuff I was excited for, I was already excited for. Or I'm not getting it right away, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think they put a solid, like, I might want to go ahead and jump on this Game Pass while this thing hot.
Mm-hmm.
When you know it's only going to be $1.
Them sales come around. Oof.
Yeah.
It's all good.
What other thoughts you guys have on this before we wrap this up?
Just like you said, solid. I mean, just like you said, focus Game Pass. I mean, the fact you get in there, every single title that they announced is going to be in Game Pass that they talked about today, and that is a crap ton of games, and it's a list of something in there for everybody. All I know is when Series X comes out. Well, shoot, some of these games gonna be out before the Series X come out. I need a bigger hard drive, cause.
Oh yeah, my joint, my 8 TB. When I started trying to download these demos, my 8 TB was like, "No, you're not." Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, you know what? I bet you his power went out. Oh man, cause we got a bad storm over here right now. I know we doing this, but we'll give him a second to see if it jumps back in. But
I'll say as far as me, it's my final thoughts. Y'all both pretty much hit it on the nail. Like I thought it was okay. You know what I mean? Like Halo was kind of what I was expecting. You know what I mean? For something like Halo Infinite, thinking more open. Like okay, looks good. What I was expecting. I'm not like, oh my god, blown away, but cool with that.
Yeah.
And Fable, we knew that was coming. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was great to see at least something from it. So it wasn't like it was gameplay or nothing like that. So okay.
But just the fact that it's being worked on, like you give people what they've been asking for a good odd amount of years now. Just the fact that, hey, look, we know you guys want it. It's here. It's coming. Just we're working on it.
Yeah. So I think it was solid. Rod said he glad he jumped on that dollar deal a while ago. When he could transfer up to 36 months worth of gold. Yes.
I did the same thing,
we all did that.
I'm playing through like 2022, the end of 2021, something like that.
Yeah, I think we all did. Took advantage of that one.
That was the move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with it, y'all. It's gonna be it's very interesting. I'm super interested in seeing what the landscape looks like over like the next 2 months because they gotta get the price.
Yeah. It's like they're getting close to that pricing finish line. Like, come on, one of y'all, somebody got to go first. We're getting too close.
Somebody got to jump.
They're trying to just trying to wait the last possible second before they have to.
What's tricky is I think the only time we've ever had a console like where we didn't get a price until like maybe like 2 months or whatever before the joint came out was with the Switch. Like, they basically revealed that joint in, like, January, and then that joint started selling, like, March 11th or whatever it was. Yeah. Everybody was like, bet, I need that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, like, and that was, like, I mean, again, that was, like, beginning of the year. It wasn't like what we trying to do now. It's at the end of the year, and I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. But, look, let us know in the comments what you guys think. If you watch the showcase, tell us. If you haven't watched the showcase, go watch the showcase and then come back. Tell us in the comments what you think. Look, we've been putting a lot of new content together. Again, it's a little crazy trying to do it the way we are, maintaining social distance and so forth. But we are working on some new content. We have a new channel, Snack Bite channel, that is live now. So you can just search Snack Bites by Loading Snacks on YouTube. That's a new channel for us. We're continuing to put content out every week. With Snack Bites, which is kind of where this all started. We are working on new content specifically for that, new series and shows. We just wrapped up Anime Vault series season 1 today. Finale went up today.
Yes.
Thank y'all for checking that out, making sure you're on it. If you haven't seen the last episode yet or haven't watched any of them, go back, check them out. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on YouTube. They're all over the place, so check those out, please. If you like them, if you're in a group, share them. That certainly is helpful for us. On top of that, please make sure you check us out on Patreon. It's a great way to be able to support us monetarily so we can keep doing what you're doing. So if you like what you see, and you can throw us a couple of bucks, greatly appreciate it and it's helpful. If not, if you're just enjoying watching the content, obviously you can continue to watch for free. We're going to keep putting stuff out. We do have some exclusive stuff, but
you know what I mean? While we're talking about the patrons, let's shout out our top patrons that are supporting us. Okay. My man jumping again. Anthony Cunningham, shout out to you. Our man Ellis, shout out to you. Mrs. Susan Dortch, Tyson Carson, and Victoria Ford.
Tyrone. My man, Tyson.
Tyrone. My bad. But shout out to all y'all for your support. We definitely, truly appreciate it. It means a lot to us.
Right, no doubt. Look, man, we about to wrap this up. Again, cutscenes are the best part of the game, so y'all go check a few cutscenes out. Next week, I'm going to expect a report. What's your favorite cutscenes? I'm lying, but you can tell me anyway. With that, we're going to wrap this up. We are out. Toodles and loos. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do.
shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.